You may now begin your presentation.
One of the biggest reasons of food insecurity is from food waste. So we know that there's way more food in the system than we actually use.
It's crazy. It's just wasted, thrown away, thrown back on the land, or, not even fed to animals, like completely wasted.
And there was an 80-acre field of carrots that had grown half an inch too long to fit in the plastic bags. And they were too skinny to slice and dice into frozen carrots, and they had no market for them. So they plowed under 80 acres of carrots, which is millions and millions of pounds.
1/3 of all food produced is wasted. Good food, healthy food. This is a global issue, something that we should care about. We need to care about. Good afternoon, everyone. We're Enactus St. Mary's, and we're reducing food waste by feeding people instead of landfills.
Food waste has a clear environmental impact. Each year, it takes a landmass larger than China to produce the food we literally just throw away. And when it ends up in landfills, it produces methane. Methane that's equivalent to 3.3 billion tons of CO2 emissions, making food waste the third largest contributor to the greenhouse effect.
There's the economic impact. The total cost of food waste is almost $1 trillion. These costs are then passed on to the consumer, which results in a 10 to 20% increase in the price of food.
This leads to a social impact. Food waste is contributing to food insecurity. We can't keep throwing food in the garbage while there are people going hungry. 815 million people don't have access to healthy food. That's 23 times the population of Canada.
So, how do we address a global problem? The United Nations recommends focusing on sustainable consumption and production, or stop wasting food.
Let's go from global to local. When looking at food waste, Canada is one of the worst in the world. And if that wasn't shocking enough, Nova Scotia is the worst in the country. Food waste impacts all of us, and sometimes in ways we don't realize. Let's introduce you to 3 Nova Scotians who face this issue. David is a farmer in rural Nova Scotia, and he's seen how much farmers struggle to sell good produce when almost 50% of it is left rotting in the field. Just imagine you walk out of the grocery store with 2 bags, drop one in the parking lot, and don't even look back.
Let's look at why this happens. Some produce does not meet the standards of edible fruit that can be sold through retail. For example, in Canada, the best apples are classified as extra fancy Canada. Unfortunately, an apple can only achieve this elite status if it is free from all imperfections.
As you can guess, many apples fail this test. When they do, they can lose more than half their value, and they're classified as ugly fruit or seconds produce. Now, farmers like David, who have nurtured their crops, can't sell them because of criteria that have no impact on health or taste.
And food waste doesn't end at farms. Chico owns a restaurant in Halifax, and each night he throws out 10 to 15 pounds of food. He doesn't earn any revenue from this and has to pay to have this food disposed. The restaurant industry is unforgiving with extremely tight profit margins, and the cost of food waste doesn't make this any easier. So restaurant owners like Chico now run the risk of losing their businesses within the first 3 years of operation.
So all this food is being wasted, and people are still going hungry. Jan lives in an urban community that does not have any access to food. Nova Scotia is the most food insecure province in Canada. Halifax, the most food insecure city. So where does this bring us? 3 individuals trying to thrive in a province that is the worst in both food insecurity and food waste. Enactus St. Mary's has worked to empower these individuals through our project, Square Roots.
Square Roots is a social enterprise that disrupts the supply chain and puts food that otherwise would have gone to waste into the hands of those who need it the most. The business is divided into 2 key activities: the bundle service and the token program. Let's look at the bundle service first. We source produce from farmers like David, transport it into the city, and sell it in 10-pound bundles during monthly produce pickups.
The bundle service uses a franchise model. We find individuals in each community that is passionate about what we're doing and would like to earn some money for it. People like Jan. The bundle service, in partnership with the Social Enterprise Institute, delivers online training to our franchise owners. That way, no matter where they are, they all have access to our resources.
There is no fee to join this network, and franchise owners receive a startup package from our team. This package includes marketing materials, sales strategies, and 40 bundles for their first launch. Once this franchise is up and running, individuals buy bundles from us every month and receive commission for each bundle that's sold.
It costs our team $450 to launch a new Square Roots franchise. Technically, we could launch 113 franchises today, but we don't, because Square Roots is more than an Enactus project. It's a business. We wanted to create a solid foundation for our franchise owners, so we've taken a strategic approach when onboarding new communities. That way we learn from the current ones and refine the model each time. As a result, new franchise owners can have a greater impact. Like when a Sackville franchise joined in January, they ordered 1,000 pounds of produce, which is more than we ordered in our first 3 months of operation.
The franchise owners become entrepreneurs, impacting their communities. They work with us to make the bundle service more successful. For example, Jan realized that some of our produce, like turnips, may be foreign to some of her customers, so she brought on a local nutritionist to create online cooking videos with exciting recipes. Our franchise owners have allowed Square Roots to develop its brand throughout the region. Just recently, Jan was recognized for her work with us in the Nova Scotia House of Assembly.
In collaboration with Killam Properties, Jan was able to expand her business by using the Glen Forest Apartments community room. This central location allows many in the community to benefit from this wonderful initiative. Mr. Speaker, I ask that the members of this House join me in commending the hard work of Jan Merchant and Square Roots for helping families in our community. Thank you.
We currently have 13 franchises, which are run by individuals, organizations, as well as other Enactus teams. We also have over a dozen franchise applications from across Canada. We recently launched our first international franchise in New York State, and immediately after this competition, our team members are traveling to Jamaica to keep the expansion going.
One of the biggest contributors to food insecurity is inaccessibility. We address availability through our franchises. We address affordability through what we call a social pricing model. It means selling the same product at different price points to meet the needs of different demographics. So our 10-pound bundles sell for $5, $10, or $20.
Here's how it works. Through validation, we discovered that $5 was the ideal price point for individuals living in poverty, while buying that same bundle at the grocery store would cost almost $20. We saw this as an opportunity and introduced two prices. $10 if you can afford it, $5 if you can't. You decide what you can afford. No questions asked, no judgment. A $5 bag has a profit of 50 cents. So we use the $10 bag to cover operating expenses as well as make a profit.
A $20 membership gets you 2 bundles, one for yourself and one to donate to someone in need. Members prepay quarterly, ensuring sustainable cash flow for the business. So farms earn revenue, low-income communities have access to healthy food, and Square Roots reduces waste.
Our team is constantly seeking opportunities to improve efficiency and reduce costs. Buying bags to deliver the produce were way too expensive and not aligned with our goals. So we did our research and found a free and sustainable source of bags. We've recently partnered with the Halifax Convention Centre to collect bags from the estimated 58,000 conference attendees until December. We're also collaborating with hotels just like the Intercontinental right across the street. So if you have any bags in the back of your closet, you now know where to drop them off.
As you probably know, transportation is a huge expense. It can affect sustainability. The idea was to attack this issue head-on and find long-term solutions. So, we recently partnered with Extreme Moving to transport this produce every month, free of charge.
When we were incurring the cost of transportation in bags, we had a profit of 50 cents. We've eliminated those costs entirely, increasing our profit to $1.55, which means we put more money into the hands of our franchise owners.
And to answer a question that I'm sure many of you have, no, we will not run out of supply. Remember, almost 50% of produce is wasted. If we used up the supply, it would mean that no Nova Scotian could be considered food insecure. And well, isn't that the point?
This year, the bundle service has served 23,000 meals, which is a 585% increase from this time last year. And based on our current growth rate, we're set to serve 180,000 meals by next April.
Good business models look for multiple revenue sources. Good social enterprises look for greater impact. Let us introduce you to the Square Roots Token Program.
The token program reduces food waste in restaurants. Every year, Canadian restaurants accumulate $10 billion in food waste charges. And the sad part about this is that restaurants have to pay to have their food disposed of. So, we created a way for restaurants to save on their disposal charges while providing affordable meals. A Square Roots token is a cashless currency. Tokens can be redeemed at any of our participating restaurants for a full meal made of excess ingredients. You can use the token yourself or donate it to someone in need.
For clarity's sake, because this has come up, the restaurant doesn't recycle leftovers off of people's plates. They're using excess ingredients or meals that would have gone to waste. For example, Chico makes shawarma in the morning in anticipation of 100 customers. However, if only 60 people order it, the rest is thrown out. So instead of wasting it, Chico would allow a customer to exchange a token for a daily special.
Tokens are sold for $5 each, where 50% goes to the restaurant and 50% goes to us. The idea was that these revenue and cost savings would incentivize restaurants to join the program. But there's more to it. Restaurants cared more about feeding hungry Nova Scotians versus saving on their disposal costs. We currently have 12 partner restaurants, and this number is increasing every month.
Tokens can be purchased on our website, through our sales team, or our community partners. We went from a poker chip style to a laser engraved token with an embedded code. The code allows us to track each token, and the data helps us to better understand customer trends. So we know where a token was sold, when it was handed out, and how long it's been in circulation before it was redeemed. And if a token has been out for more than 4 months, we count it as a lost token and reissue one to take its place.
We wanted to get the tokens in the hands of those that really need it, those that may not be able to afford the $5. We figured that the most effective approach to do this while keeping revenue coming in is by developing a corporate sales program. This gives large organizations the opportunity to contribute to social good. Tokens can be purchased as corporate gifts or simply as a way to be engaged in the community.
These tokens have proven scalability. Scotiabank will ensure that these are purchased easily throughout Canada. The United Way will also ensure that these are distributed throughout their network of 49 organizations. This year, we have sold 820 tokens. That's a 242% increase from this time last year. And at our current growth rate, we're set to sell 3,600 tokens by next April.
To maintain this growth, we've launched a Square Roots app. We're now able to manage scalability, increase efficiency, and reduce the resources to run the business. Farmers are able to connect directly with franchise owners. Customers are able to order bundles and digital tokens with just a swipe. By scanning the QR code, we know exactly where that token is being. The app is a network of community members dedicated to reducing food waste.
Judges, all of you can have an impact by purchasing tokens and bundles for your organizations to donate. Through this, you can visit our website or scan the QR code on your annual report.
Square Roots is a leader in the reduction of both food waste and food insecurity. Farmers and restaurant owners earn revenue as well as save money. Franchise owners add income to their households, and customers save money as well as have access to healthy meals.
Square Roots is not just important. In my opinion, it is absolutely essential. Square Roots is a movement. It is not just something you do on the weekend, once a month. You become an advocate for social change and social justice. Through the Square Roots membership program and community donations, over 100 families who use the Fairview Family Center have benefited from the membership program.
It's an amazing program, and I'm really grateful that it's available in Sackville because there's not a lot of stuff that comes to Sackville. It's had a huge impact on me because I like to feed my family healthy, fresh food, and this is an affordable, accessible way for me to be able to feed them healthy, fresh stuff. When I can come here and get food for $5 or $10 a bundle, it means a huge impact on the freshness of the food we have in the house. I don't have to feed my family Kraft dinner and noodles every day. Today I bought 7 bundles, and I also bought a token.
Square Roots has had an economic impact of $500,000, set to rise to $3.8 million next year. HELLMAN'S Foods has recognized us as the best food security project in the country 2 years in a row. We've recently partnered with McCain Foods to scale the program across Canada. We've become a UN-recognized organization for tackling the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We've been recognized by the Edwards Family Charitable Foundation, the Building Vibrant Communities Fund, as well as our Premier, and 7 government representatives for paving the way to sustainably feeding our province.
Enactus St. Mary's embeds the entrepreneurial attitude in everything we do, in every community that we work in. Our approach is simple. We empower others to address the needs that matter the most to them. Square Roots is just one project of many that works with communities and the individuals in them.
The Pipeline is the first student-run social enterprise accelerator in Canada. We work with 38 communities and help launch 18 businesses. This year, 200 ideas came to the Pipeline, and we've built a $33,000 investment fund to take those businesses from idea to launch.
Accessibility works with individuals with disabilities and helps them find jobs or start their own business. Part of our project is being franchised to 6 other Enactus teams across Canada, and this year we were named as the top project for youth employability in North America.
Options Youth works with multi-barriered youth and empowers them to go back to school, start businesses, find employment. This program is internationally recognized, and through our partnership with Service Canada, we have received $480,000 for 48 youth until 2020.
Now, no one project is going to solve all of the world's problems, but we're impacting our communities.
We have empowered over 900 people by providing jobs, starting businesses, investing in their futures,
reducing waste, eliminating hunger, and creating a better world for us all.
We are Enactus St. Mary's, and we're taking the action to address the needs that matter the most to us. So tell us, what matters the most to you?
Now begin the question and answer period. Judges, please raise your hand to indicate you have a question, and a microphone will be brought to you.
Hi. Wonderful presentation and a really meaningful cause. I loved your ecosystem of partners, and one question I had is, have you considered partnering with food banks to have even greater impact?
Yes, that is something that we look to do constantly, because for us, it's not about competing with other organizations, it's about really making that change. And we're looking to reduce food waste in all ways. And one of the businesses that we had come to the pipeline is called Piece of the East, where 3 Syrian newcomers actually upcycle food at food banks that would be going to waste and turn it into amazing Syrian desserts, and they've served their desserts to people like Justin Trudeau, so it's amazing.
To add on to that, also we donate to food banks every month, at least 20 bundles.
Great, great program, guys. Great presentation. I'm just curious on your pricing model. I'd be curious to know how many people buy the 20, the 10 versus the 5?
About 5% of our customer base is the $20 memberships. 56% of our customers buy the $10 option, and the remaining buy the $5 option.
Great answer.
Hi, thank you. I just echo the prior judge's comments as well. The question I had is, can you talk a little bit about the extent to which you've had success with farms and also restaurants as participants? Are there a segment or a portion that decide not to get involved? In other words, is there a success rate that you have in these interactions?
So currently we source our produce from Henny Penny's Farmers Market, and they source their produce from 50 farms, and we are paying the farms for the produce that they would throw away, so there's no way that they would turn us down.
And for the restaurant side of things, the only restaurants that have turned us away are the restaurants that have, they don't have any food waste. However, we do have partners like that don't already have food waste. However, they want to give back to the community, so they still join the programs.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Loving the tartan duds, man. Fellow Nova Scotian here, woo! Love it. You know what? I just want to tell you guys, great presentation, but more so than anything, Love those darn little those tokens. Here's my question. You said in the presentation that this particular restaurant owner makes 100 meals a day, and then you sell it back to somebody for $2.50 or $5. When is that person allowed to use that token?
So restaurants usually set hours that they do expect and when they do have a lot of food waste and they can accept tokens. However, if a person comes in outside of those hours, restaurants don't turn them away. Restaurant owners are always looking back to give back to their community and always also help individuals. So if like a homeless person does come in, they won't be turned away and they'll always be guaranteed a meal.
Hi, I'm very impressed. Congratulations, it's very amazing. A lot of business face a lot of challenges as they grow. Have you thought about the challenges and how you will make sure that your business survives the huge growth that's ahead of you?
Definitely. So the two biggest challenges that we had actually faced was, again, the bags and the cost of transportation. But through our partnerships with convention centers across the country, through our partnerships with hotels, we're eliminating that to be able to scale it no matter where we go in the world. And when it comes to transportation, Extreme Moving is a local company, but we're happy to announce that we recently partnered with McCain Foods, and they have a wonderful transportation company, Day & Ross, and we'd be reaching out to them to potentially help us transport our produce across the country.
Fantastic presentation. I have a question around food safety. So how do you ensure the quality of the food despite the ugly apples so that you're not disaffecting any of the health of the recipients?
Definitely. So all the food that all of the members on our team as well as our franchise owners have food handling training to be able to ensure the best quality. Also technically based on law, because the food is not advertised as ready to eat, we are not legally liable. But just in case anything does happen, we do have $2 million in insurance for our organization.
I'm wondering, right over here at the back. I'm wondering in terms of how many actual products you have. So I saw carrots, I saw apples, and turnips. And how do you deal, obviously, your model is very much connected to what is local. And that's not necessarily going to provide the kind of diversity in a diet that.
Your time has expired. Judges and guests, please help me in thanking the team from St. Mary's University.